In what could have been Justin Verlander's final regular season start in an Astros uniform, it didn't go the way that he wanted to. Justin Verlander didn't get the win, gave up 6 runs, but the Astros offense was there to give enough push and shove to keep ahead of the Angels. Let's talk about it on this edition of Locked on Astros.
Jainer Diaz, this is Locked on Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked on Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Heisman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chansey.
Hey there, and welcome into a Friday night edition of Locked on Astros. I'm H-Town Wheelhouse. You know where to find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find me at Stros411 on X and on Facebook. You can also find me at Back to the Bullpen on iHeartRadio, now on Apple, on YouTube, and on Instagram. Look, I'm always positive, always Stros. Tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is America's #1 sports book through September 22nd. Go ahead and get it. Hurry up. You still got a couple days. All FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial for NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Visit FanDuel.com to get started today. Well, look, the first inning went really, really well for Justin Verlander. It looked like he was going to just kind of cruise through this game. If you look at the box score, he didn't give up any runs in the first 2 innings. So you're like, okay, Justin Verlander, I don't know if he's back, but he's better. He's looking better. Okay, he was getting some swings and misses. And we're going to look at that and the front end. We're going to talk Justin Verlander. But a couple things we have to realize. Justin Verlander is very much a first ballot Hall of Famer. And I know everyone here knows that, would not argue that. Well, you can't argue that. I mean, it is what it is. We in sports, as fanatics that we are, we have, recency bias. Like if someone, let's say, Yordan right now is really slumping. Altuve's not hitting the ball. So people be like, oh man, he's not hot. He's not hitting well. Well, Justin Verlander, we know, has not been on his A game, and he's been out most of the season with an injury. But what Justin Verlander has done for this team and in the city to help bring 2 World Series, because he was a part of both of those teams, is huge. And you can't deny the awards he has. I mean, this is a guy that's a 3-time Cy Young, a pitching Triple Crown winner. He won both World Series here, ALCS MVP with the Astros, ERA title twice. He was Rookie of the Year and MVP and a 9-time All-Star. And several of those awards that he got were here in Houston. So I think it's safe to say that his legacy is cemented, and we know how much he has contributed. But the saying goes, all good things come to an end. They will. And I don't know, is this, someone asked, actually I had several people private messaging me on social media through Instagram and X saying, hey, do you think this is JV's last game? Do you think this is the last game? Look, I don't know. I think it's very possible that his last regular season start in an Astros uniform at Minute Maid Park. I guess if it's the last in the uniform, it wouldn't matter if it was in this ballpark or any other ballpark, let alone Sacramento Field or wherever the A's are going. That poor fan base is weeping this weekend. At least we're not the Oakland A's. Hey, at least we're not the Texas Rangers. They have been knocked out of the playoffs. And look, we'll get to the magic number scenario here later on, the last segment, talking about how we at least knocked it down. Because remember, the magic number is a combination of Astros wins and Seattle Mariners losses, one or the other. You don't if you don't get one, you don't they both count. Unfortunately, the Rangers are doing Ranger things and couldn't hold Julio Rodriguez in the ballpark. And so they won tonight. We still have 5-game lead, but the number got knocked down a game. Oh no, trust me. Retire Outside USA. I love that name. I wish I could retire. This is 2024. And The reason why I'm mentioning the Justin Verlander stuff at the front end is because I don't want to get lost in the shuffle, us showing our appreciation for him. Now, going into the wild card series, because, I mean, if you look at it mathematically, I don't know if it's fully impossible right now, but I don't think the Astros I don't think the Astros can catch the second place team. They have to win out, and then I think Baltimore has to lose all their games or something. So just tie yourself to the wild card series. I actually got my tickets already to that first wild card home game, so I'm planning on being there and witnessing it in person. But with the way the pitching rotation's going to line up, we talked about this last night. It looks like it will line up to be Fromber, Hunter Brown, and Yusei Kikuchi, who I would put third, without question. Look, Verlander's not pitching great. Will he be on the ALDS roster? Guys, more than likely. I mean, unless JV takes himself out of the picture. And that is the difficult part. JV is this kind of person where he knows when he's doing bad, when he's doing good, he's still hard on himself. But is the ego or the placement in baseball folklore enough to keep him and put him in a place? And if he were to make it into the rotation in the ALDS, the Astros get past, they would have to obviously get past the wild card. Would JV then be a detriment to the team if he was in there for the ALDS? I know a lot of y'all would say yes, but look, you ain't met my Texas yet. Yes, that is the song at the end of the Astros game when they win. And as I talk, people are probably either watching fireworks, it's already over, or they're getting ready to watch fireworks. One of those three options is definitely key. But Alex Bregman, Jake Myers, I mean, they came to the ballpark to play. They did an excellent job tonight. The big home run by Myers. Look, Tucker, 3 for 5. Yainer Diaz, 2 for 4. Hold on. Whoa, where? I'm looking at the runs column. Kyle Tucker, 4 for 5. Thank you very much for my mind. My eyes shifted, I guess, or something. Yainer Diaz, 3 for 4. Alex Bregman, 2 for 5. Mauricio Dubon, 2 for 3. And look, Alex Bregman in the third inning hitting that off of Anderson, it was great, because that right there is what really put the Astros on top. And then Jake Myers put a little cherry on top with knocking in more runs. And so it looked like the Astros were going to cruise to like a 10 or 15 point victory. And the Angels just scratched and clawed their way back. You know, you had the late home run by Kyle Tucker. They had a 5-run lead, I think, twice. And the Angels brought it down to 2 runs. That isn't exactly a great game versus the Angels. But at this point in the season, boys and girls, it's not about how you win. It's if you win. And it's getting that magic number to 0 so that you can head into your 8th straight trip to the postseason. You know, there's all this talk about the Brewers, about the Dodgers, about these other teams in the playoffs. So 3 out of the last 4 years, 4 out of the last 6 years. I can't wait to hear Astros, their 8th straight trip to the postseason. So I absolutely love that. Kyle Tucker, look, we need to get him going. We need to get him going because this offense goes as Tucker goes. I think this offense goes as Yordan goes. And that's why I was glad to see the 2 long balls, because right now Yordan, I think he's like 4 for 23 or something like that. He's in a terrible slump. Hey, Espada, can we take him out of the 2-hole? Can we let him play left field? I didn't like seeing him sit in the bench, just sitting there. None of y'all saw that. Yordan Alvarez was due up in the next inning. I can't remember if it was the 4th or 5th inning, somewhere midway through the game. And the camera pans into the dugout, and Yordan's sitting there with his bat and with his helmet, just like sitting there on the bench. His bat's next to him. And it reminded me of the kid. Yeah, he did kind of look depressed. It reminded me of the kid that you have on your little league team. And, you know, I'm talking about the kid that everybody has to play, which is fair, which is right for kid sports. But you have that kid who he just wants to hit the ball, and he doesn't play all the time. And little Johnny knows he's going in the fourth inning. And, man, he's ready. That kid will put his helmet on in the second inning knowing he's not going to bat for 2 more innings. And Yordan just reminded me of that. It was phenomenal. Hey, look at this powerhouse bringing us some stats. Today's attendance, 39,666. Ooh, can we take one person away from that or add? I think they miscounted. I think it was 667 is the official total. I'm joking. But, yeah, Jake with the right cuh. What's up, cuh? We're using the word cuh now? Okay, guys, I'm too much of a boomer to do that. Look, we are going to hear about our sponsor, FanDuel, again, and then we'll talk more. I want to talk about this offense. I want to talk about what I think needs to happen for these guys to be successful, and then we need to also discuss the bullpen. Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Astros. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com today. It is America's #1 sportsbook. You've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel. Well, we got something a little bit different for you, something that will please your listening ears and your watching eyes. That's right. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and you'll get 3 weeks free of the NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. That's right. Then with your YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out of market game. All you need is a Google account, a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. From money lines to prop bets and so much more, FanDuel.com is America's #1 sportsbook. Check it out. Download it today. It is America's #1 sportsbook. Make sure you make Locked On Astros your first listen every single day. After you do, make a Locked On MLB your second listen with Paul Francis Sullivan. Please call him Sully, and make sure that you just go through your day and realize that Locked On has so many things for you to do, so many places for you to go, and even the Locked On Astros postcast with Michael Connor. So check him out after every single game as well. Look, after Texans games, after Cougars games, he's done stuff with the Locked On Cougars host and so much more. So check that out. But look, guys and girls, because everybody's here. Mama Wheelhouse is here. Let's see who's all here. Let me check this out. Diana is here. Welcome, Diana. Romano is here. Judy Krebs, who is AKA Mama Wheelhouse. Mr. Richard, Maria is here. Look, the gang is here. Jalen is here. Stokey Beats is here. I mean, everybody, and I'll try to get everybody's name a shout out. We got 150 people watching. What's up, Aaron Singleton? Aaron Singleton sent me a message during the game. Are you here? I actually had another friend. Hey, are you here? But we got to talk about the offense tonight because the offense did their job. But the 2 guys I want to focus on is Jose Altuve and Yordan Alvarez. Jose Altuve is still batting .297 with a .789 OPS. Yordan Alvarez is .301 with a .941 OPS. Yordan had 3 strikeouts tonight. Go back in the game. If you can watch the condensed, go watch the condensed game. This guy named Chili Gaming or whatever. He does all the condensed. He does all the Astros game condensed. I don't know how he gets away with doing it and not getting in trouble, but he does it. And go back and watch Yordan's strikeouts. He was late on almost all of his swings. He looked sluggish tonight. I know he ended up getting on base with a walk and he ran and stuff like that. But at the plate, he just didn't. I don't know. It wasn't that he didn't look comfortable. I couldn't put my thumb on it. I don't know if I was the only one that saw that. But Yordan I don't like him in the 2-hole. I want Yordan in the 4-hole. I need Bregman in the 2-hole. I need Tucker. Heck, just keep Tucker in the 3-hole. That's fine. He had 4 hits tonight. I mean, 4, 2, and 3. Tucker, Bregman, Diaz took care of business tonight. Dubonway on the bottom had 2 hits. So there you go. But everybody got hits in this lineup except for Altuve and Alvarez. Altuve did only strike out once, but Yordan with 3 strikeouts. He hasn't been hitting great lately, but we've got to get him. We've got to get the gas pedal down for this guy offensively. And what is that? Like, how do you do that? I think if he sees more pitches before he bats, I think he hits better. When he plays in the field, we know the average is there. The on-base percentage is there when he actually plays in the field versus when he is behind the plate. Maybe right now, I mean, when he's a DH, maybe they're just giving him rest because it is really about October. It's not about September 22nd. I just think that you need to order this lineup, and maybe it changes when we get to the playoffs, but I just don't like what I'm seeing from Altuve. I need these guys to get hot. Maybe they wait to get hot in the Cleveland series. I don't know. Again, still got respectable averages, still overall good numbers on the season. You know, Jose Altuve's got over 180 hits. I mean, look, Alvarez, we know, has got all the home runs. But Tucker tonight, 4 for 5. If this guy finds his stride, watch out. And so even with those 2 guys not hitting, if Tucker and Bregman and Diaz and Payne, look, the rest of the guys are bringing them along, it is a complete lineup. Top to bottom, this lineup stretched out and hitting is a formidable opponent. And you'll know why I said that. And someone will say, hey, thank you. Look, hey, Bartholomew, Verlander's not pitching well, but I wouldn't say he's garbage. I wouldn't say he's garbage. That's a strong term to use for a first ballot Hall of Famer. Now, I understand what you're talking about. I get the premise. What has he done for you lately? Well, he's dealt with injuries all season long. And that brings me to the bullpen. I want to kind of begin talking to you guys and girls about the bullpen before we get to our last segment. Man, Joseph piling on. Come on. Where's my always positive, always Stros guys? I mean, let's go. Seattle's now in the wild card hunt. Could possibly be our first round opponent. Ooh, Matt, that is not something I thought about. Okay. Well, maybe I need to not worry about just clinching the division. Maybe I also need to worry about the Mariners getting knocked out of the playoffs. I didn't think about that, Matt McNeil. That's a good call. I'm gonna go look at that real quick. But I want to tell y'all about our sponsor, eBay Motors, here in a second. So the wild card standings, Seattle's 2 games out. Okay, they are 2 games out. If the Rangers can get off their duffs and win a game, win the next 2 games, and the Astros take care of 2 of 3, it might be tough. The Tigers did lose today. If the Tigers would have won, they would have I think they would have moved into a tie with Minnesota. But Seattle's got to fight the Twins and the Tigers. So yeah, that's going to be weird. I did not see Seattle making it into the playoffs, and that could happen. Ooh, Matt, why did you have to bring that up? I was trying to be always positive, always Stros, but we're here about reality too. So let's look at this here in a second, because it is definitely worth talking about. We will talk about it here soon. Hey there, eBay Motors is our sponsor today. Millions of parts for your MVP win every time with parts that fit your ride. That's right, passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash, with all the parts you need at the prices you want. It's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. All right, boys and girls, let's let's talk about this stuff. Before we get into all these other things, I do want to talk about our relief pitchers. Hector Neris give up the home run. But I just like some of our middle guys have not really been getting it done when it comes to picking up the ball and shutting out the opponent. After Justin Verlander leaves, it's not like, I mean, the first 6 runs were all tagged to Justin Verlander, I believe. Yeah, 6 earned runs. Now, the bullpen did only allow 1 run, but like, I don't know what it is. And it's kind of deceptive. I know those runs were charged to Verlander, but King gave those up. Those last couple runs, or he did get a hold today, but he's been shaky. Now, the thing I did like about tonight, outside of the Neris home run, was the way Neris ended the inning with the fire. That's why we brought him back. Presley with the hold. The back end of your bullpen took care of business. It's the guys like King and Ork that I don't know what I'm going to get from him. Ferguson, I think there's a lot of people who agree with us that we don't think he makes the playoff roster. If he does, it's because he's a left-hander. It's going to be matchups. Hader came in 1 inning, 2 strikeouts again. So if the bullpen can hold the line, if the bullpen can keep the offense at bay, because when you go to the playoffs, you're not playing the Angels, you're not playing Oakland, you're playing the teams like the Padres, like the Guardians, like the Yankees, like the Dodgers, teams that can score runs and score them at will for some of them. Taylor Scott has been shaky as well. You're right. Taylor Scott has been shaky. He's been very good most of the season, but at the end of the day, it's what have you done for me lately? So I think some of these guys are going to be getting some rest. Hopefully our starting pitchers can go a bit longer in the game than they did. But because when you look at Justin Verlander's stuff on the mound today, get this from Baseball Savant, he only had 8 swings and misses. Now, you would like him to be getting between 12 and probably 17 swings and misses. That's what I would like to see. But he got 3 whiffs on his 4-seam, 2 on his curve, 3 on his slider. So I don't know. Justin Verlander just did not wow you. And you could tell at times that he was not happy with this performance. He did later in the game, he was throwing 96, 97, but and I don't know if it's his pitch shapes. I don't know if it's his lower half is not matching his upper half, but he just looked tired tonight. He just looked tired. Do I trust Justin Verlander in relief? I will say this. I don't see any scenario in any baseball scenario where Justin Verlander at this point this year is moved to a relief role. Personally, I just think, how many times have I said JV must retire and preserve his legacy? Well, I understand that. Look, I say something about like there is something to guys finishing on top of their game and going out. A lot of players in various sports, they will just grind and play, and people are like Akeem Olajuwon wearing a Raptors uniform. Like, really? Like, someone should have said, tell Canada not to let him in the country, because Akeem Olajuwon in a Raptors jersey just was all kinds of wrong. I still have nightmares about that. Okay, guys, y'all are brutal with Verlander. Like, if you're listening to this show, you need to go back to the show and scroll through the comments around the 23 minute mark. Y'all are piling on this poor guy. That's okay, man. Thanks for, you know what? Look, that was an intense game. Killer Cam came over here from watching Michael Connor. Hey, man, we appreciate you showing up. Thank you for supporting both shows. Definitely, we're all the same team. Yeah, we should have kept Akeem. Akeem, the Dream Olajuwon. My son and I got a picture with him, little side conversation here, 2 Rocket seasons ago. And when I say this 60-something-year-old Akeem Olajuwon was in better shape than 48-year-old me, I was like, this dude is just, he doesn't age. And he's just one of the nicest, most gracious people you'll ever meet. So, yeah, legacy. Legacy's big. I don't think Justin Verlander's ruining his legacy. He may be overstaying his welcome with the fan base. But, look, Verlander's going to be there. And he's going to start a series. They do understand the piggyback system. And if Blanco and Arrighetti, neither one are starters, you could easily piggyback one of those guys, depending on the pitching matchup of the lineup that you're facing. Remember, it's all about lineups. Now, let's talk about the magic number is now down to 4 for the Astros to clinch. I can't say his name. Matt McNeil earlier said, if the Mariners make it into the playoffs, what would it be like to be in a wild card matchup against them like we were? Remember do you remember that series? That series where we went to Seattle and Jerry Payne had the only run in that game, 18 innings? Ridiculous. I sure would hate to face Seattle in the playoffs. Like Seattle, I don't know. Like Seattle doesn't scare me. What teams make you nervous? Our magic number is 4. And I was talking to my friend Corbin earlier. I think the teams that make me nervous are the teams that aren't supposed to do something. The teams that are going to make it in the playoffs that nobody's really expecting them to do anything, i.e. the Diamondbacks, i.e. the Rangers, i.e. I won't say that anymore, the Nationals, the Braves. I mean, who saw the Phillies last year just totally getting boxed out of the late rounds of the playoffs? Who saw that? I think everybody had the Phillies in the World Series last year. But right now, as it stands, Baltimore is fading, y'all. Baltimore doesn't worry me. Kansas City a little bit. Minnesota, not so much. But who I'm worried about in the American League, who do you think I'm worried about the most? I'll give you 3 options. It's either the Guardians, the Tigers, or the Yankees. Who do you think H-Town Wheelhouse is most worried about in the playoffs? And it's not the Orioles. It's not the Orioles. There's one team. Nope, not the Yankees. I'm not worried about the Yankees. Yes, the Guardians. Yes. Something about Cleveland. Look, their Clase or whatever, how you say his last name, he is coming up on a Cleveland franchise record for saves. The back end of their bullpen is sharp. They've got Jose Ramirez. They've got Stephen Kwan. They've got Naylor. I mean, they just have a team that hits. And yeah, they've got a great bullpen. They got great starters. And I know it's not about the regular season and what you do, because we do remember the famous run that Cleveland made a few years ago, 22 straight wins or something at the end of the season, and boom, who knocked them out of playoffs? I believe it was us. That was 2019, if I have my Emmanuel Clase. There you go. Thank you. I cannot remember Mr. Emmanuel's first name. But the Guardians concern me. Now, do I think ultimately in a dogfight could we win? I still think, guys, we're the AL favorite. I know that seems homerish, and I know that seems cynical of what everybody else is doing. I just like our experience. No one's coming into this postseason with an offense that is dominating as consistently as the Rangers were. Because when the Rangers got to the playoffs, they demolished us in game 6 and 7. I mean, it wasn't even a competition. I was at game 7. I was like, I can't believe I'm watching this. And if there's any team like that I'm just worried about, it's just because Cleveland just has this confidence. And that's just, baseball does that. Look, no one expected, you're right. We're that team. And see, I think more so than Cleveland, more so than the Yankees, more so than Minnesota or Seattle squeaking in. Who expected us to be here? Nobody, not even me. Not even your always positive, always Stros banner waiver. I mean, I finally, I kind of shed the homer label that I kind of grew into when I first started this gig. But now I'm like, man, look, Juan Soto does scare me, but Juan Soto's having injury issues. He's playing through injury. Like right now, the Yankees still haven't played regular season games. Juan Soto should be sitting the bench getting healthy. That dude, if he's on and Aaron Judge is on, but you've got Gil on the mound, Nestor Cortez has been better. You've got Garrett Cole always is a formidable opponent. There you go. I said it right twice. Do I get an extra cookie? But Judge's home runs. Yeah, he's not Shohei Ohtani. Guys, I still can't believe Ohtani did what he did in the fashion that he did it. I mean, is that not insane? I mean, can we not show some love? You know, I just I did a Tops Now hit when they did the 40-40 club for him hitting the walk-off grand slam just because I thought it'd be a good collector's card to have. And he got 50-50. I totally missed it. I totally missed the I missed the output on the Tops Now. But guys, you know what? That's all I got tonight. Thank y'all for tuning in. The Astros magic number is 4. We need the Rangers to win some games. I don't want Seattle in the playoffs. Not necessarily worried about them, but I don't want to play Seattle in the playoffs. I just don't. Let's just go through the rest of this Angels series, sweep them, get down to 1 or 2 magic number, pop bottles in the, let's say we need to be popping bottles, what, by Tuesday or Wednesday? What do y'all think? Popping bottles? Oh, the Space Cowboys. I got to tell you this, and if I go over the 32-minute mark, whatever. So this week, the Space Cowboys play in the PCL championship. They were the first half champions. There are 3 games that you can get tickets for. I'll be at the first game. The first 2 games are guaranteed. I believe it's Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday is if necessary. But come out to Constellation Field and watch the Space Cowboys win the title. So I'll end it with this comment. H-Town, we can beat the Guardians in 4 games. Cleveland is fundamentally sound. They put the ball in play, but they're not the same power hitting team. No, they're not. But they counter with really, really good pitching. We've been very inconsistent up and down. But here's the deal, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all are awesome. Glad y'all got to watch the fireworks. Glad y'all were there. While Diana's sitting there having a glass of champagne, or maybe she's saying it's just a glass of champagne. That's right. We don't want to over celebrate. Go Space Cowboys. And look, Eric will be back. He's got some things he's taking care of. He's studying for some stuff. So y'all make sure you keep him in your thoughts over the weekend. And if the Astros win, I'm just telling you right now, if the Astros win tomorrow night, your boy's going to be back because we got to talk about it. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Y'all are amazing. Thanks, Mama Wheelhouse, for being here. Everybody from SFA Powerhouse to Corbin to Mr. Rashad to Joseph to Jose and everybody that showed up. Richard, Carl, everybody. You know who you are. What's up, fam? Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'm your boy, H-Town Wheelhouse. This is Locked on Astros. No show does more. We are your team every single day. Magic number is 4.